Hey everyone, it's about 2:05 on this Thursday. You know, I what's funny is I do a video which is called "No One Is Truly Satisfied," which is basically where I'm reading off what I typed up on several forums, right? And I have several people, if you will, starting to argue. Now, I'm not surprised by that. It seems that no matter what I or anybody else says, or even what they say, people are going to get arguments. People are going to disagree with each other. And that's okay. Everybody's got a right to their own opinion, right? Well, apparently, one of the big arguments coming out of this, because I did talk about it in that subject, was the whole SonAmy, SonSal. It's like, basically I talked in there. It's like no one is truly satisfied with the fact that you can have the default pairing, basically a pairing that's going to happen by default. And yet you have people disagreeing and all that because of the fact that one feels better than the other. Okay, basically what it is that this argument goes back, if you will. Basically focuses on the whole SonAmy, SonSal deal. Now we all know that according to what Sega and Ian Flynn has even said, Sega will never, and I even said this in there, and I'm not ashamed to admit it, will never allow Sonic and Amy to be paired together. And that's a true fact. And like I said, the only reason, and I'm sure I said this I think I may have said that in there, I'm not really sure. The only reason they never really say much when it comes to Sonic and Sally, because Sally's not an in-game, she's a franchise character, but she's not an in-game franchise character. Basically, you can do more with her, and thus, you could have her be sort of that love interest with Sonic. You see, apparently, from what we're going to tell from 235, Amy is going to, she's going to be the Amy that's been maturing and growing and all that from what we can see in Sonic Universe. But basically it sounds like they're going to have, from what 256, 253 I should say, but sorry about that. 253 is indicated by what Rotor says, that Amy is going to be back to chasing down Sonic, basically chasing after him. Just like she did in the games, just like she's done in several other medias, it's going to be back to that. So yeah, you'll still have the Amy that, will be a freedom fighter and, that will, put the values of others before her. But apparently they're going to start making her more like her game counterpart to where, she's does all that too. She does all that too in the game. But she's also always going after Sonic. She's always chasing after him, chasing after to wherever he's going to be. So, in other words, let's say down the line they decide to do an issue with Sally decides, okay, Sonic, you and I are going to go on this mission together and we're going to try to figure out what this is. And let's say they take Tails, but Amy stays behind because she's told to. Yeah, you may be getting that kind of a story in the future where she's like, I want to be what Sonic kind of did. I'm going to go follow, whether they like it or not. So yeah, you're going to probably end up getting that kind of a story. Getting that kind of a story in the future. But one thing that's bothered a lot of people was the fact that one fan, and they know who they are, felt that this whole Mecha Sally arc was to kind of shove the SonAmy canon down our throats. They even say that the writer, the head writer, asked the question of what would be wrong with SonAmy. When pretty much he's indicated he's a SonSal supporter too. Here's what Ian Flynn is doing, guys. And this is what a lot of creative writers do. They troll. He's trolling you. He's trolling you so that way you guys talking. It gets you guys talking. So he's trolling you by saying one thing and then saying another. That's what he's doing. So expect that. Another thing, though, ladies and gentlemen, that some people are upset about is it's like Sonic didn't care or show any kind of emotion as much during the whole arc. Yeah, he did show emotion. He did. Let's not forget, before they started the whole Team Freedom, Team Fighters deal, he did let everything that was happening get to him finally, to the breaking point that he literally dragged Silver all around New Metropolis, straight to Antoine's bed. And, literally, Sonic basically was on the breaking point. He did show emotion. But the reason he didn't show it as much during the whole world tour, if you will, portion of the arc, is because Sega mandates that he doesn't... Okay, basically Sega mandates are, okay, yeah, you can have him show frustration and maybe a bit of emotion, but after that, when he goes on missions and he fights badniks and all that, he can't show any emotion. He's got to be like cool, suave, like nothing really bugs him. There's that. Like he's got to be cool, suave, nothing really bugs him. That kind of deal. That's basically why you don't have, Sonic showing as much emotion, like you said, as he should. Or he should have during the missions. Yes, beforehand he did. Now you might say, well, what about the court case with Jeffrey St. John? Didn't show much there. Well, again, that's because he felt and thought, like anybody else, Jeffrey was going to finally get his. The point is, folks, that's just how Sonic was created. by Sega, and that's what Sega mandates, whether we like it or not. Now it's like, and I guess it's part of the agreement, that in non-fighting situations, yeah, you can probably have him show some kind of emotion, maybe frustration, but in fighting situations, missions, he's got to be like the Sonic in the games. You know, completely unhindered. You know, cool, suave, you know. You know, that is why, you know, he would even poke fun at Sal when she was Mecha Sally, because that's how his character has to be presented doing, like, missions and fights, if you know what I mean. So, that's basically why he didn't show as much emotion during the missions than he did not on missions. And then you got the whole Amy Rose deal. Okay. First of all, the reason Amy would show any kind of emoticon, as they're called, or heart emoticons, even during some of the missions, and even doing Worlds Collide, which some people have pretty much said doesn't really count at times. The reason she would do that is because that's who her character is. You see, I guess you could say that's part of the Sega mandates. You know, again, I guess you could say it's part of the Sega mandates. It mandates that, it basically mandates that Amy has to kind of show something that shows she's in love with Sonic. She loves being around Sonic. She loves what he does. She loves being carried by him if necessary. It's basically showing that her dreams coming true. You know, that's basically what it was. That's basically why you have these heart emoticons at times with her during that arc, because that's who her character is. And by Sega mandate, I guess in a sense, you got to show that. You got to show, okay, this is just part of her dream of being with Sonic coming true. So, again, you know, that's just, you know, how it is, and you know that's why it's shown. It's not because Ian Flynn wants to shove SonAmy down our throats. Far from it. It's more about the fact that it's what Sega mandates at times to be done. And if Sega mandates, hey, you need to show some kind of, you need to show Amy in some kind of way being happy about being around Sonic, and you know, you need to show it in a way that, you need to show it in a way, even if it's with an emoticon, you need to show it. So, that's why it wasn't because he was trying to shove SonAmy down our throats. It wasn't because Sega was doing it. It was because it was a Sega mandate that said, hey, no matter what the situation, if she goes around, gets carried by Sonic, or Sonic does something heroic, show an emoticon. That's it. Now you might say, well, what about that? Now, one person watching this might say, well, what about the line she said in 222? Again, that's all part of the dream. In story-wise, it's all part of the dream of saying, hey, Sonic will be mine. Of being hopeful. Of being hopeful and saying, yeah, someday Sonic and I will be together. I just don't know when. So, again, the whole situation with Sonic and Amy doing the whole, you know, the emotions and, you know, how they reacted and the whole Mecha Sally deal. It's all part of Sega mandates, and that's about it. So, hopefully that cleared some things up, and if not, let me know down below. Comment if you like. I'll talk to y'all later. I'm going to go in Walmart, take care of some shopping.